Hello, I'm back. Today, I wanted to do a little speaking on a subject that I think is near and dear to a lot of people's hearts right now, especially. I want to talk about my personal experience of it, and kind of what my opinion of it is, and I'm going to say the A word real quick: abortion. uh, this is a controversial subject in America. It's pretty much split in the divide, right in the divide. And I think my context of it, even though I'm just some random white dude, right? Like, I think my perspective of it is important when it comes to deconstructing people's views of abortion, and people's views of forced birth versus like life, what life is, how people view life. Abortion's a really tricky kind of conversation. Obviously, I think it in a lot of people's hearts is kind of difficult to like get over or even have an opinion on. It's hard to think about. It's hard to think about. It just is. All right. Um, Obviously, this is in recent. It's a hot subject debate because in recent memory, yesterday, they removed the Roe v. Wade precedent from the American public, from the American bills or whatever, and yeah, it's kind of messed up. A lot of people in southern states ended up losing their birthright. That's kind of a weird way to put it, but yeah, they kind of lost their birthright. It's fucked up. It shouldn't be happening like this, and I think honestly, it feels like we're being ruled from above by the Supreme Court, and we don't even elect. They have lifetime appointments. Like, to me, I have very little hope. So I want to talk on an individual basis, how people look at the subject, how people are informed about the subject, how people feel about this kind of change, and look at it from the two opposite perspectives and kind of see where I lay. So I think first things first, I just want to get this off my chest so that people don't click off because I have kind of a troubling story. I'm, uh, what do they call it? Pro-choice. I'm not. I think people should have the right to get an abortion if they need it. It's a medical procedure, whatever. There's a lot of reasons for that, but I'll get to that. Um, so to start, I, as a kid, I'm 20, 21 now, and as a kid, a lot. I went to, my parents kind of dragged me to the March for Life in Washington D.C. Let me look up some pictures of it because, yeah, I went to this a few times. I'm 20. I was born in 2000. 21. I was born in 2000. So, I went to this when I was like 8, when I was like 10, when I was like 12. My parents, I live in Colorado, but my parents would repeatedly take me um, to this March for Life, like um, to Washington D.C. I always thought it was cool because we could go see the museums and everything, but we really went to the March for Life, and I didn't really know how to feel about it. Obviously, like, my parents supported it. They thought that abortion should be ended, but I was just so um I don't know. To me going to these conferences and doing what I did, I certainly just felt like I don't know. For me, it felt like I was part of something. That's how they always talked about it. Like, people wanted to be part of something, and this was something to be part of. Um, they never talked about abortion like it is, anyways. They ended up using a lot of arguments, which a lot of pro-lifers use, which are pretty much just, you're killing a baby. Um, they're lying to you. It's not a fetus. It's a baby. I'm right. There's no other way you can look at it, and because of this, abortion needs to be outlawed. Every every time someone has an abortion, a baby is killed. It doesn't matter how early, and it doesn't matter. A baby's killed. They shouldn't be able to kill that baby because it's another life. I get that. I get that. I get the idea that, especially if you believe that life starts at conception, life starts right when it starts, like, yeah, it does seem kind of, it kind of, like foggy. It doesn't, abortion doesn't really make sense if that's where you think life starts. But and this is what I learned that really deconstructed that. A, the Roe v. Wade, especially, all right, Roe v. Wade didn't have to do anything with when people thought life started, right? It had to do with, um, Roe v. Wade had to do with personal privacy, saying this is a medical procedure. We, as the government, don't need to get involved or know what medical procedures you're doing. That makes sense to me. Like, I don't want the government to be able to look into surgeries that I've had and get me for surgeries I've had. Like, that's messed up. Like, they shouldn't be able to do that. It's a fucking government. Like, that's stupid. It's stupid. It also opens a gateway to be, going after trans people who transition because of literally, uh, it's a medical procedure, and you can see it happening in Republican states. Anyways, but yeah, I went to the March for Life, and I don't know. I think that to me, it was kind of like, what shell shocked me the most was there's all these people there who have live in feed video right in the vagina of some random woman. Here's a Bible, or not a no, right in the vagina of some random fucking woman. Here's a baby, and that baby is getting torn apart. Like, they show graphic footage of abortions. I've seen that. It's messed up. It's not something that I think kids, when I was a kid, should have watched. People, anybody, anywhere should watch it. It's like, if I get to the nitty gritties of any procedure, open heart surgery, open brain surgery, are you going to want to watch that? But I understand the way they look at it. Like, oh, they're tearing apart a human, like a baby. It's a human, you know. Here's the thing, all right? I have like 5 stages of where you can think life starts, and it's relatively okay. Um, Life starts at conception when the sperm meets the egg. There's a new DNA that pops up, and that's when you think life starts. And you're like, oh, wow, anything past that, that's the development of a human life. That's a life growing inside of you. You could think it's when the heart starts pumping blood, because that makes it a human that is independent. It's like not fully dependent on the body of the mother, but they still are. Everyone knows they still are. Then you can think, first breath, like they come out, we all breathe the same air. Like, that's what's important. That's what makes life, breathing that air, being fully developed, independent being. That's it. But then you see people making the argument, and this is where Republicans can kind of come in and be like, oh, they're making the argument that you should be able to get an abortion post term. You should be able to kill your kid if it's 2 years, because some people don't think life starts until their first word. But I think, seriously, if you're going to have a conversation about that, you're outside of the realm of abortion anyway. Abortion is literally stopping a pregnancy from developing, okay? I don't care if someone's killing their kid at 2 years old. Let's prosecute that dude. You're making a mountain out of a molehill, and you're making a straw man for the rest of what I just said. That's just how that works. Like, it's not okay. All right. Um, I personally think life starts at uh, like first breath. I think that's the best way to put it. I also understand the idea of life starts at the heartbeat, and I understand the idea of life starts when the new DNA thing. But here's the big thing: is like, because it won. We're talking this whole argument, this whole life argument, is a semantics battle. It's this is what my definition of life, and this is where life starts for me. Like, super vague kind of. This is language that is scary when it comes to talking from and about a government. And a lot of Republicans right now will say, well, the Supreme Court, they overturned it. They're going to be doing it. They pass it along to the states, right? Here's what I have to say. These states, first of all, they already have trigger laws where these automatically it happened, right? Second, should states have the right to regulate medical procedures anyways? Like proper medical procedures. Here's the other straw man I hear Republicans making. They're just killing babies. And I've heard this a lot because, I was Catholic growing up, and every Catholic church is extremely pro-life. If they have one thing to preach on, I wonder what they're going to preach about now. Because if they have one thing to preach on, any day of the fucking week, it would be abortion. They'd always be talking about abortion. It's the most annoying thing. I always was like, all right, get to the Bible. Get to the Bible. And I think the one thing, when I started looking into the Bible, the one thing that really tripped me out is this one. I'll read you a little Bible verse here. I know I'm kind of just jumping around and this isn't scripted, so it's just going to look like me kind of bouncing around, going through my experience, and also kind of debunking topics or whatever, but this is just how my brain works, and you're along for the ride. Saint Sanitizer is really good. So, alright. So, this is a pretty interesting Bible verse that I just wanted to read, or not read, get the bare minimum of, that I think is just really interesting. So, Moses, there was an unfaithful wife. I know no one really is like, oh, the Bible, whatever. But this is just weird. It adds some moral contention. All right. Now, pretty much, this is like the procedure for an unfaithful wife. This is the most interesting part. If she's pregnant, all right? If she's pregnant and she's had sexual relations with another guy, a priest comes up and gives her a drink. She drinks it, and makes your womb. May the Lord cause you to become a curse among your people. He makes your womb miscarry and your abdomen swell. Did God just make this person get an abortion because they were unfaithful to their husband? I really am curious just about that. Like, to me, I don't know. I've looked up everywhere. There's no Catholic. There usually any Bible verse that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. You can look up Catholic explained or Bible verse, blah 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 blah. Nothing came up for this one. Nothing's come up. This is a heated topic in the Bible. People always bring up Jeremiah 1:5, and this is gonna sound stupid. I'm not religious, whatever. I was raised religious, so I still have a lot of this memory in me. I've been to a bunch of these conferences, so I have the memories of what they use, of what they know. And here's the basic argument. Democrats lie about this issue. They say it's a fetus when it's a baby, so their whole argument is null and void. And because we think it's a baby and we're right that it's a baby, we have the right to really fight for an end to this thing that's ending a bunch of lives. So they're saying this is a modern day Holocaust, with the babies that are being killed. To me, and I've tried to have a conversation with someone who thinks this, it's moral grandstanding. That's what it is. It's you, because I think differently than you won't accept my difference as even an opinion. You're just saying I'm flat out wrong. Bam, cut and dry, you're out of the picture. And what that does, one, is it creates a aura of we are right in everything. It doesn't create an aura of dissection of what your ideas are, thinking about how this stuff works, thinking about how our world works, dissecting your own personal beliefs. Only you can do that. Only you can dissect yourself, your own internal structure, right? And so these people are saying, don't do that. You're right. Just confirm your bias, whatever. Don't look into other things. And when you look at everyone's opinion, you start to see, oh, okay, this is a subject that maybe is a little more varied in opinion around the world, and even in the Catholic faith, even any faith, it's more varied. And maybe I don't know, maybe we should leave it up to the person. Like, we should leave it up to a person if they think that it's something that they should do. Like, it seems pretty cut and dry. That's like the Democrat argument, but it's just like, no, you're wrong. Point blank, you're wrong. And I just want to talk. This kind of gets to the meat and potatoes. I've been talking for fucking 15 minutes, and this gets to the meat and potatoes. Yesterday, I was on my Instagram, and I still follow a good amount of people from these this Catholic. I went to a Catholic school, and I still follow a lot of people from that. And I just want to read. Some of the just crazy shit I've been seeing. Today's the day to rejoice. This is just a reminder: you can't be Catholic and pro-abortion. You can't be Catholic and pro-abortion. So these are the type of Catholics that think Joe Biden isn't a Catholic. Nancy Pelosi. And honestly, it's religion. We should keep it out of politics. But still, you're going to gatekeep your religion from other people because they don't agree with you on this issue. It's... especially when there's stuff in the Bible. It's like exclusionary. I don't care. It justifies. What it does is, in myself, it justifies hating other people, disavowing other people, saying mean things about it. It justifies that. Like, it's not, none of that's okay. It's like just so fucking aggravating because, or like this, like, people say the left can't mean or the right can't mean. I think memes are stupid. I think that of course they're kind of funny sometimes, but like, no, a majority of the time they're just like stupid. I made a weird sound. Whatever the fucking things were. I haven't kept up with memes in a while. So maybe I shouldn't be talking about memes. But people say the left can't meme or the right can't meme. If let me just pull up I want to ask you a question. This image right here. All right. If you saw this on your timeline, I don't think I would laugh at it. Okay, the right has this meme that people on the left, they're just like, they get triggered. They just care too much about everything. What are you supposed to care about? Like, what are you just supposed to care about yourself? Is that what I thought we were supposed to learn how to love, how to do things correctly. What happened? Why have we become a place where it is, you're only supposed to love yourself? You're only supposed to care about yourself. You're only supposed to care about what's good for you. And you're supposed to force other people into that opinion about you and about the world. And it creates a distorted worldview. I'm sorry. It is so aggravating because, and I guess for me, the reason why it's so aggravating is because, one, me even talking about this, if I posted this and they found this video, I would be canceled. I would know, I already am not talked to by anybody that I used to talk to, no one fucking talks to me. They're all gonna come after me. They all could hate comment and spread shit like that. And I'm like, is that you're opening it up for dialogue, or what are you trying to get across? I don't know. I'm just done. This whole or abortion kind of argument stuff. Like, I've got it. I've gone through it. I know what the answer to that question is. I know what I think. I know what a lot of these other people think. I think a lot of people are just stuck in their ways or won't think in a different way because everyone has their own fucking confirmation bias. But I'm sorry. But you just don't, like, I don't know. Your understanding of where opinions come from and where they grow towards and who they affect just isn't right. Like, if I think I'm right 100% about, I don't know, abortion is a tricky subject because it's moral and it's semantics and it's stupid. It's just frustrating. But, like, if you're on the right and this is your one thing that you care about, that abortion is where we're gonna make a difference in the world and da 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 da, whatever, right? Why are you looking at abortion as America's only issue? What are you gonna fight about next? Like, abortion is the one thing you care about? A weird moral semantic argument? You don't care about, like, material realities of people in America? Okay. This is where I'm gonna end. This is where how you can put somebody in their place. And I even put a pro-life lady in her place. I was talking to her, and I said, well, you know as well as I do, rich people are going to be able, in these states where they're going to instantly ban it, rich people are going to be able to go to another state and get an abortion easy. I said, hell, even Republican congresspeople, Republican representatives have had affairs and made them go get abortions. These laws and this type of rhetoric only affects people who are underprivileged, who are poor. Shouldn't we make this kind of, especially where that's the main decision, like people who are getting abortions 8 weeks, which is not that far into your pregnancy, 8 weeks, you're getting an abortion because you just found out you're pregnant and you can't get a kid. Like, that's, first of all, that's reasonable. Second of all, it's like, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to punish poor people. And then here's the next question. If you're so for people having kids, what's the next step? What do people need to take care of their kids? Child care, family leave. What do we not have in the United States? Any sort of reasonable child care, any sort of reasonable family leave, any sort of reasonable anything, sick leave, anything like that. How are you supposed to take care of a fucking kid when you're working a minimum wage job in a 1-bedroom apartment? Well, you just got a penny pinch, I guess. Like, this is where you have to start you have to start adding money into the situation. How money affects people, because money runs the fucking world, whether you like it or not. All right, and I don't like it at all. But we have to put things into perspective of that, because when people start thinking about, oh well, it is kind of majoritively poor kids who can't take care of it, like, how do we want to look at this? It makes them think a little bit more. And even when you're like, all right, well, rich people, a lot of these fuckers are rich. A lot of them are rich. There's so many, like, rich, or I wouldn't say rich, like, more than middle class, white Christians, Catholics. I mean, I'm privileged. I grew up a little more than, I don't think it was more than middle class, but whatever. I don't think the middle class really exists. My parents, my dad was, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I was definitely privileged with how I grew up. I don't know why it took me so long to fucking admit it. But, yeah, and I think that, like, what's the fucking point? What's the point? Where do you want to go with this? Are you going to take this law and go, all right, let's ban abortion, let's ban gay marriage, let's ban trans people? Or are we going to say, is there a productive good that we probably could focus on? If we want to reduce abortions without making it illegal, wouldn't the best thing to do give people the ability to take care of their kids more comfortably? Whether that means higher wages, whether that means fucking better working conditions where you don't work as much but you get paid the same amount, better fucking like childcare, medical leave, things like that, better healthcare. I can't drop. It's like $15K to have a kid. I can't drop 15. I don't have $15K. If my girlfriend was gonna have a kid, where would I pay for that? Out of pocket? I'm gonna put on debt to have this kid, and then this kid's just gonna be a debt collector for me, pretty much. Like, we need to think about this stuff in money terms because our economy's fucked. We can point that out in this debate. That's all I gotta say. Thanks for listening to me rant and rave about crazy kooks, my experience with crazy kooks, and just whack jobs, man. Whack jobs. Don't go to the March for Life. It was a waste of fucking time. Every time I just went because I wanted to see the monuments and the museums because Washington, D.C. has a bunch of those. And I know I was a kid and I can't just go wander around on my own, but like I didn't get to go see anything that I wanted. And then I went again. Because I went to a Catholic college. I went again with that college because all of my friends were going. And I would never go again. That was the most aggravating thing I've ever done in my life. Nobody knows what they want to do. Nobody knows where they want to go. Nobody knows what they're doing anyways. And you try to have a conversation and they're like, we don't want to see the Holocaust. We're going to rush through the Holocaust Museum so we can go see the John Paul II statue. I'm sorry. This is stupid. If I'm going to go to Washington, D.C., I'm going to go for me. I'm going to see all the fucking monuments, and that's what you should do. Don't go to the March for Life. That's the end of my story. Thanks for listening.
If you made it to the end of this video, I just wanted to really say thank you. I don't have any viewers, so I was sure you're not going to get to the end of this. Peace and love. We can hope for a peaceful planet in the future. It just takes collective knowing and collective action. So peace and love. I hope you enjoyed my rant and rave about my personal experience with the subject of abortion. Maybe you were expecting me to have a story where I had to have somebody that I know get an abortion. But no, I have, for my life, been on the opposite side of that story, sheltered and anti-abortion. I just needed to learn more about more people. And I hope that this video maybe opens the door for more people like me to learn more about more people. But that's all I gotta say. Thanks for watching. Peace and love.